Alright guys, so today we are asking the question, do exclusive games actually matter? Now by exclusives, of course, I mean games that are specific to either PS4 or Xbox. And we're not talking about PC because there's a fuck ton of PC games that are only for PC. We don't have consoles just yet that can support these ridiculously huge fucking games. So we're just talking about console exclusives today. You know, something like The Last of Us, Uncharted, Gears of War, Halo, shit like that. This all kind of stems from it being E3 season currently. You know, every time E3 rolls around, it kind of reignites the console war to a degree. Because everybody, whatever console everybody supports the most, they're having like a dick measuring contest. Who had the better E3 press conference? Was it Nintendo? Was it Sony? Was it Microsoft? Who has the better exclusives? Who has the better games coming out later this year? The kind of usual shit that makes a console war. And I just kind of wanted to give my thoughts and opinions on exclusives specifically and whether or not they actually matter, at least to me. Obviously, this is going to be a subjective type video. It's going to be my opinions, my feelings, my thoughts, and you may agree or disagree, and that is fine. I don't expect everybody that watches this video to agree with my opinions on this. To be very blunt from the beginning, no, I don't think exclusives really matter. I'm not the type of consumer who sees, a new game coming out, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to buy this console for that specific game. Like, that's never happened to me. The closest it's ever happened is before Fallout 4 got announced. I was like, well, if the new Fallout game that's supposed to come out eventually is next gen only, I will then get me a next gen console, because I was still on Xbox 360 at the time. And when they finally announced Fallout 4 and it was next gen only, I was like, well, I gotta get me a next gen console. I'm an Xbox gamer, so I got an Xbox One. So that doesn't count. It's not exclusives, but that's the only time where a game's really made me buy a console. And part of why I don't believe that exclusives matter to me anyway is that most of the games I play come out on both consoles. Like, I play Call of Duty, Fallout, Elder Scrolls type of games. All that shit comes out on PlayStation and Xbox. So I don't need a specific console to play either of those games. And even me being an Xbox player, I don't even actually play the exclusives. I'm not sure of all the exclusives that Xbox has these days, but of course there's Gears of War and Halo. And I have, ever since I bought my Xbox One, the one I happened to buy, I don't know if it came with all of them, came with the Master Chief Collection, which is like 4 or 5 Halo games remastered or whatever. And I have that on my Xbox, and I've played through a small portion of the first Halo game. I don't even play it. I had a friend named Jeremy, shout out to Jeremy, I guess, he gave me a code for Gears of War 4, I used it, downloaded the game, have not touched it yet. So I don't know, I'm not a big player of the exclusive games, I guess, at least for Xbox. And do not get me wrong, I'm not some Xbox fanboy who can't admit that PS4 has badass exclusives. You don't know how badly it kills me not to be able to play The Last of Us. That shit looks fucking amazing. And it is getting a sequel. So they're about to have a sequel to the fucking Last of Us, which is like this masterpiece of a game that I have never got to play. And then we also have Days Gone coming out here. I don't know when. I didn't watch the Sony press conference. I don't know the exact date that's coming out. But it is a zombie apocalypse, post-apocalyptic type of game, which is right up my alley. That's the type of games I love. We already know that I like post-apocalyptic games. This is a Bethesda channel. We play a lot of Fallout here. So obviously post-apocalyptic games are something that I'm very interested in. And I happen to be interested in zombie games, and they fall under that category anyway. There's also Horizon Zero Dawn, which honestly I don't know a whole lot about, but I know it's supposed to be a pretty fucking big game in terms of the open world. And that's, for me, is a selling point a lot of times. If there's a big open world in a game, I might buy it based on that alone. Even if the game's kind of terrible, at least there's a big world to explore. I'll get my money's worth that way. So I don't know much about this, but I've only heard good things about Horizon Zero Dawn. But even as good as all of these exclusives are that I've named, it's still, to me as a consumer, isn't worth purchasing an entire console just to play these exclusives. And I'm kind of curious if there's other people out there like this. Like maybe you're a PS4 player and whatever the exclusives might be for Xbox One, maybe you want those games, you want to play those games, but you're not willing to buy the console as well. Just like me as an Xbox player, I like some of these PS4 exclusives, but to me, I can't bring myself to buy an entire another console that does generally what mine already does. My Xbox One and the PS4 are going to play most of the same games, so it seems like such a wasted purchase to me. And kind of a sidetrack though, but that bothers me too. People are like, the people that go out and they buy, the Nintendo Switch, they buy the fucking PS4, they buy the Xbox One, so they can play some of these exclusives, but so they can just like, I guess, flaunt that they have all three, modern consoles. Who has time for that? Like, a lot of my day is spent with video games, whether it's, making YouTube videos, researching video game stuff, playing video games in my free time, shit like that. I play a lot of goddamn video games. Who has time for 3 separate consoles? It's such a waste of money. Like, it doesn't make sense to me that people are willing to buy all that shit. Or the people who constantly upgrade their consoles every time a new one comes out, like the Xbox One S or something, maybe a little bit more power, a lot more room or something like that, and they constantly buy and upgrade. I just don't see that happening. I've had my Xbox One since 2015. It'll be 2 years later this year. I've had zero problems with it. That's something else too. People compare the PS4 and the Xbox One a lot. Apparently the PS4 is supposed to be better, like graphically and frame rates and all, frames per second, all that shit. But I've never had any problems with it. I've never had my Xbox be laggy or anything like that. So I don't know. Something else that bothers me with exclusives is like when a new one comes out, we'll say for the PS4, because they generally get the better exclusives. A new PS4 exclusive comes out, people are like, man, the PS4 is winning. The PS4 won this year. And then like, what bothers me about that is that an exclusive is not a testament to how good the console is, but really to how much the money the fucking company was willing to drop. Like, PlayStation was willing to pay for the exclusivity to have that game only on their console. That's not really a testament to how good the console really is. If Xbox or Microsoft were willing to drop that amount of money more, they could have had that exclusivity. So it really isn't a testament to how good either console is. Something else I'm kind of curious about, and there's really no way to test it, is how much exclusives actually sell consoles. Because I can't imagine that there's that many people out there that go out and buy a console just to play a specific game. There's definitely people out there that will do that, I'm sure. But it can't be more than like in the tens of thousands, maybe. Like tens of thousands doesn't really affect sales that much, because when it comes to like sales of like video games and consoles, you're really looking towards the millions. How many millions has it sold? So tens of thousands isn't really that big of a deal. So to me, exclusives aren't that important really, because they don't actually sell that many. They can't sell that many consoles. No Man's Sky is a good example of a bad exclusive, and why exclusives can be bad at times, because that game turned out to be asshole. I've heard it's not that bad now, but it started out to be, like the biggest disappointment of 2016. And the thing is, had that not been an exclusive, they would have sold better. I'm not saying that people wouldn't have returned and got their money back and shit, but it would have sold better because you essentially have twice the player base. You have 2 consoles to sell it on, so you essentially have twice the sales. I was honestly so hyped for that game, and then I realized it was a PS4 exclusive, and I lost all hype before the game even came out, because I'm like, why do I care? I'm not going to buy a PS4 to play No Man's Sky, no matter how good the game looked to me at the time. And so it's just another example of exclusives not really mattering to me personally. I actually kind of wonder how much you got to pay a developer to have their game on just your console, because it's got to be a good amount of money, because you have to kind of cover the overhead of, say, what the Xbox One would have sold with that game. Because, $60 a game, however many millions of copies on the Xbox One for this game, that's a lot of fucking money. So I wonder how much exclusivity cost, actually. But to kind of wrap it up and give my final thoughts, the fact that I don't believe that exclusives really impact the sales of consoles that much, the fact that, to me, it's not a testament to how good the console is, because it's really just more of a testament to how much they're willing to drop to have the game on just their console. And to me, it's not worth buying an entire another console just to play, worth buying another console that's going to do essentially what my Xbox already does, just to play a handful of games. I just don't really think exclusives matter that much. Anyways, guys, let me know your thoughts on this below. Have you ever bought a console just to play a specific game or two? Do you have all the consoles? The usual shit. Reply to whatever you feel like you need to reply to in this video. Anyways, guys, if you would want to enjoy the video, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. Turn on my notifications. Follow me on Twitter. Links to my social networks are in the description. And the outro. Later, guys. That's the best outro so far.
Pretty lies, look me in the face, tell me that you love me, even if it's fake, 'cause I don't fucking care.